Blessed with good looks, genuine acting talent, and charisma, Ewan McGregor rose to fame at a young age. He is a versatile actor who is known for his roles in both high-budget, major studio pictures and smaller independent films. From the legendary Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars to the slick supervillain Black Mask and Birds of Prey, he has played it all, perhaps because he can switch between genres seamlessly and is easily one of the best actors in the industry today. He has secured himself a top-tier place in Hollywood. Here are 10 things you probably didn't know about Ewan McGregor. His uncle was in Star Wars. Playing Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Star Wars prequels wasn't his first connection to Star Wars. His uncle, Dennis Lawson, played Rebel Alliance pilot Wedge Antilles in the original Star Wars trilogy, beginning with A New Hope and continuing through The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Though his role was a small one, Lawson became a well-known Star Wars figure. The only reason McGregor saw Star Wars in the first place at age 6 was because he was excited to see his uncle Dennis Lawson on the silver screen. He traveled around the world on a motorcycle. McGregor is a motorcycle junkie. In the television documentary Long Way Around, McGregor details the story of traveling the world by motorcycle in 2004. With a film crew and his best friend Charlie Boorman, McGregor fired up his motorcycle in London, England, and biked across Europe and Asia. After a flight to Alaska, he then continued his round trip across North America before ending the journey in New York. The entire endeavor was 3 months long, spanning almost 20,000 miles. In 2007, he went for a second trip with the same team. He traveled from John O'Groats in Scotland to Cape Town in South Africa, all described in the TV series Long Way Down. In 2020, they released the third installment in the series, Long Way Up. They adventure through South America, a route they felt they had yet to adequately cover. He has also used his motorcycle skills for good, biking in conjunction with UNICEF to deliver vaccines to remote areas of India, Nepal, and the Republic of Congo in 2012. His whole journey was documented in a 2-part documentary, which aired on the BBC. The documentary also explored McGregor's responsibilities and feelings as a UNICEF ambassador. He was going to try heroin to prepare for his role in Trainspotting. Without a doubt, one of McGregor's finest early career roles was Renton in Danny Boyle's 1996 film Trainspotting. He had to undergo a dramatic transformation to shoot the film, shaving his head and dropping 28 pounds of weight. However, the extent of his research and preparation went far beyond just losing weight, which he apparently did by exclusively drinking wine instead of beer. And he almost did heroin. He tells Hollywood Reporter, "I did actually think about trying heroin. At first, early on, I thought, how can you play a heroin addict without having taken it? I was young, and I thought, fuck it, just do it." He ultimately decided against it when he did more research and met real people addicted to heroin. He said, "As soon as I met the real deal, I thought it would be hugely disrespectful to them to be taking heroin." He pulled double duty in the Wild West. In 2013, when Seth MacFarlane was shooting A Million Ways to Die in the West, Ewan McGregor was shooting Jane Got a Gun at the same location. He stopped by the Million Ways to Die in the West set just to say hello, and it was then that he was offered a part. Since he was already in makeup, he was happy to cooperate and made a cameo in MacFarlane's movie. He almost didn't take Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. Sir Alec Guinness earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for his performance as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original Star Wars films. More than 20 years later, Ewan McGregor was cast to portray the young Obi-Wan in the first of the Star Wars prequel movies. At the time, McGregor was best known for his role as a substance user in Danny Boyle's gritty Trainspotting, and he was hesitant to be part of such a mainstream project. He told Telegraph back in 2016, "At first, I was very reluctant to do it because I saw myself as this urban, grungy actor doing films about substances and stuff, and that's who I felt like I really was. But the nearer I got to it, the more I wanted to do it." To play a younger version of Obi-Wan Kenobi, he had to portray the character in a recognizable way. McGregor said on The Graham Norton Show that he not only studied Alec Guinness's performance as Obi-Wan, but also watched many of the older actors' earlier films. He said, "The fun thing about doing them in the first place, when I was much younger, was trying to imagine Alec Guinness, how would he play these scenes as a younger guy. It led me to watch a lot of his early work, which I hadn't seen before. Brilliant movies, wonderful films that he'd been in, and I just had such a great time studying him in those movies." He almost played Will Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean. Throughout his career, Ewan McGregor has had the opportunity to play several iconic characters, from Obi-Wan Kenobi to Beauty and the Beast's Lumiere. What you might not know is that he has come close to playing several other famous characters, but in every case, has been eventually passed over for another actor. For example, a young McGregor made it to the very last round of auditions to play Will Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean. However, as most people will know, the part eventually went to Orlando Bloom instead, who stuck around for 3 installments of the franchise. Not only that, but McGregor was also considered for the lead role in American Psycho until Christian Bale talked him out of it before taking the part for himself. He stopped talking to his pal for 10 years. Danny Boyle and Ewan McGregor were once like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, except replace Good Will Hunting with Trainspotting and replaced the Boston accent with the Scottish one. But unlike Damon and Affleck, Boyle and McGregor couldn't keep the good vibes going forever. 5 years after their breakout film, Boyle and McGregor had a heated breakup after Boyle gave the lead role in the 2000s movie The Beach to Leonardo DiCaprio after originally offering the part to McGregor. Boyle cited studio interference for the fact that he couldn't cast McGregor as planned, but McGregor felt betrayed and didn't speak to Boyle for almost a decade as a result. But now, the pair are as right as a Scottish rain thanks to McGregor striving for peace in 2009 by presenting Boyle with an award for Slumdog Millionaire. In it, he said about Boyle, "He pushes you to find more depth and truth. I felt safe in his hands. I'm in awe of your bravery. Making a movie about junkies in Edinburgh was not an easy choice. I love you and miss you." He had skin cancer. In 2008, McGregor told BBC he had a few moles removed from his face and one that was under his eye turned out to be cancerous. He said, "I just went to have them checked. You have to be careful if you're pale-skinned and you spend time in the sun with moles. So, I went to see a specialist who thought they were better to be removed, and indeed he was correct." A ghost may have attacked him. On Late Night with Seth Meyers, McGregor says he was a 20-year-old drama student living in London when he encountered a ghost. He was getting out of the shower when he saw that the ghost had burnt the back of his robe. Apparently, the previous tenant accidentally set fire to his kitchen and passed away from the burns on his back. Later, the ceiling collapsed. McGregor also experienced other hallmarks of hauntings: doors opening, phone calls with no one on the other end. He stayed there for months. He and Jude Lowe were roommates and shared a bunk bed. It's not uncommon for a famous actor to gravitate towards other famous actors when it comes to forming friendships. In fact, it's almost expected. Famous actors tend to become friends due to a mutual understanding of how hard it is to navigate celebrity, as well as the difficulty of maintaining friendships with normal people. For as common as this is, however, it is far more statistically unlikely for two actors to become fast friends before either of them has become famous. That's exactly what happened with Ewan McGregor and Jude Law, who were both friends for years prior to either finding serious success. The pair were so close that they even spent time as roommates in the truest sense of the word, sharing the same bunk bed in London. In 1997, Law and McGregor co-founded a British film and theatre production company called Natural Nylon, along with Law's then wife Sadie Frost.